Strength and endurance disciplines are the easiest to mix up. This is every strength and endurance discipline, explained with a full breakdown of how each style builds power, speed, and resilience. Bodybuilding is the craft of making your body look like it was sculpted on purpose, muscle by muscle, angle by angle. The whole mission is hypertrophy. Slow reps, heavy tension, and a mind-muscle connection so strong, you start arguing with your biceps mid-set. Diet becomes a full-time job too, where chicken, rice, and broccoli feel like mandatory office paperwork. And symmetry? That's the religion everything has to match. Chest to back, quads to hamstrings, or the stage lights will expose you instantly. Competitive bodybuilders cut down until veins look GPS activated and every pose feels like a final exam. Even casual lifters borrow the principles because nothing builds shape like structured hypertrophy. Bodybuilding is simple in theory, brutal in execution, and addictive once the pump hits. In short, it's art, science, and vanity making gains together. But while muscles grow in the mirror, real strength hides in sweat. Powerlifting is the sport where nobody cares how you look, only how much iron you can bully off the floor. It's built on three sacred lifts: squat, bench press, and deadlift. Everything revolves around low reps, high intensity, and convincing your central nervous system not to quit its job. Training sessions often feel like negotiations with gravity, and every PR attempt turns into a full-body courtroom battle. Powerlifters live by cues like knees out, chest up, and don't die, and somehow it works. Meets are a whole culture too. Chalk clouds, smelling salts, and strangers cheering like you're lifting their rent money. And while bodybuilders chase symmetry, powerlifters chase total numbers, obsessively adding kilos like they're building a retirement fund. It's raw, honest strength, no illusions, no posing, just you, the bar, and whether it moves or not. And just when plates feel heavy, the next max is always waiting. Strongman is what happens when someone looks at normal gym equipment and says, "Yeah, but what if it weighed as much as a small car?" This discipline is all about brute, awkward, real-world strength. Atlas stones that sandpaper your forearms, log presses thicker than your regrets, and farmers' carries that make your traps question their life choices. Unlike powerlifting, the lifts aren't clean or pretty. They're gritty, ugly, and brutally effective. You're not just strong, you're strong while moving, breathing hard, and trying not to faceplant under 300 pounds of, "Why am I doing this?" Strongman athletes train to grip, drag, load, and run with objects that look like set pieces from a Viking documentary. And the crazy part? They love it. It's chaotic, primal, and oddly inspiring. Pure functional power measured in sweat, chalk, and borderline bad decisions. Yet beyond brute force, endurance decides who truly dominates these giant feats. Olympic weightlifting isn't about brute force, but really more about speed, timing, and terrifyingly perfect technique. The snatch and the clean and jerk look simple until you actually try them and suddenly discover muscles you didn't know existed. Every rep is a mix of mobility, balance, and explosive power, all happening in a split second where the bar either flies effortlessly or reminds you exactly how human you are. Weightlifters spend years mastering positions down to the millimeter. Foot angle, bar path, hip snap, every single thing matters. And when it clicks, the bar moves like it's weightless, even though it's absolutely not. Training is high focus, high precision, and full of that one more attempt energy every lifter knows too well. Olympic lifting is the discipline where strength meets finesse. And finesse occasionally slaps you in the face when your form slips even a little. Precision matters because one misstep could ruin months of explosive progress. CrossFit is what happens when someone looks at every training style and says, "Yeah, let's just do all of it today." WODS mix Olympic lifts, cardio bursts, gymnastics, kettlebells, and whatever else the coach decides to throw at you. One minute you're rowing like you're escaping a shark. The next, you're doing handstand push-ups questioning all your life choices. The magic and the madness is in the variety. No routine ever feels the same, which is why CrossFit athletes end up annoyingly well-rounded. The community vibe is huge too. People cheer louder for the last finisher than the first, and somehow everyone bonds over shared suffering. It's intense, sweaty, chaotic, and weirdly addictive. If traditional training is a playlist, CrossFit is shuffle mode. It's unpredictable, exhausting, but sometimes exactly what you need to feel alive. Chaos reigns in WODS, but only the disciplined survive the storm. Calisthenics is where you realize your own body is basically a portable gym. No need for barbells or machines, just raw skill. Pull-ups, push-ups, muscle-ups, planches, levers. Mastering them isn't just strength, it's control, balance, and coordination. The aesthetic comes from lean, dense muscle, sculpted by tension and repetition, rather than heavy, loading street workout parks, playgrounds, and even door frames become your training arena, giving it a rebellious, urban vibe. Progress is slow, frustrating, and insanely rewarding. There's no add 10 pounds to the bar, you add reps, improve form, or attempt a harder variation. Gym bros might scoff at no heavy iron, but calisthenics builds functional strength you can actually show off, like one-arm push-ups and human flags. It's strength you carry around, not just bench press. Discipline and patience are the true weights here. Strength without weights tests control, leaving no room for sloppy execution. Hybrid athletes are the new age warriors that lift, sprint, row, and carry, blending strength and endurance into one relentless package. Think high rocks competitions or functional fitness events where a heavy deadlift is immediately followed by a 1 kilometer run with no time to catch your breath. There is time to keep it moving, though. Training is about balance. Power meets stamina, explosiveness meets pacing, and mental grit becomes as important as muscles. Nutrition and recovery are dialed in like a lab experiment, because overdoing one side kills the other. These athletes laugh at the idea of just one discipline. They thrive on chaos, variety, and constant adaptation. Watching a hybrid athlete in action is like seeing a Swiss Army knife come to life. Versatile, resilient, and brutally efficient. Functional strength has never looked so fit. Balancing lifting and running reveals who can thrive across multiple domains. Endurance athletes are all about efficiency, heart, lungs, and legs, working together like a finely tuned engine. Whether it's marathon running, cycling, or triathlons, the focus is on VO2 max, pacing, and mental grit over raw power. Training isn't flashy, it's long hours, steady mileage, interval sessions, and consistent discipline. Nutrition, hydration, and recovery strategies are just as critical as the workouts themselves. Unlike lifting-based sports, the gains are internal. Stronger hearts, higher red blood cell counts, and nerves of steel that push through fatigue. But don't mistake it for easy work. The grind is relentless and brutal. Every finish line crossed is proof of patience, planning, and consistency. Endurance athletes may not flex biceps, but their resilience, stamina, and cardiovascular capacity set a standard of human performance that pure strength athletes often envy. Which one of these would you take on? Let us know in the comments.